Where magicians work to deceive, confound, and confuse us. In other words, they're a lot like politicians. And now the co-speakers of this house, one won the popular vote, the other took the Electoral College in a landslide. Penn and Teller! Fool Penn and Teller perform with Penn and Teller in their world-famous magic show. With that in mind, check out our first contender.
My name is Dyno Staats. I am a mad scientist and steampunk magician.
Steampunk specifically focuses on the Victorian era,
when science was still new, and it was almost like magic to people.
I've always been interested in the mad scientist character in books and movies. I approach my magic with the scientific method. You try the experiment, it fails, you try to figure out why, and you just keep going until you get it right. It's extremely important for me to create all my props to match me. Even if it's something real simple that you can buy, I'll remake everything. If I fool Penn and Teller, it will mean validation for what I'm doing. Sit back, relax, and come watch, because something might go horribly wrong.
Please welcome the steampunk magic of Dyno Staats.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, people come from all over the world to try and fool Penn and Teller with magic. The problem, Penn and Teller don't believe in magic. You have to fool Penn and Teller with something they do believe in. Science! So tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna do a science experiment. Penn, would you happen to have a $1 bill on you I could use for this experiment?
I do.
I'll come get that from you, if I may. Excellent, thank you, sir. Now, it may interest you folks to know that everything in science is made up of atoms and molecules that are tightly compacted together, including Penn's bill. In between the atoms, there's lots and lots of empty space, tons of it. There's actually more nothing in this bill than there is bill here, but if you fold it over, you bring the molecules closer together, making it denser. We can fold it over again and again and bring it closer to singularity, much like a black hole. Now, unfortunately, I am not a Large Hadron Collider. I cannot crush this bill down to the size and space of a single atom. Instead, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this bill apart. Atom by atom, molecule by molecule, bit by bit. And to do that, we need to use science! So, I have a pen in my pocket. I have a teller in my pocket. Here we go. Gentlemen, would you please join me up on stage? Penn, have you come here stage right and teller stage left? Give them a round of applause as they come on up. Thank you very much. Hi there.
Hello, how are you?
I'm wonderful, thank you. Would you two, please, sir, take that? And we're gonna have you mark your bill right there for me, please. We're having Penn sign his bill, marking it in case something goes horribly wrong with the experiment. We can recognize it again later, which almost never happens. It's totally safe.
Good, nice to hear.
Okay. Now, we can start the disassembly process on a macro scale by rendering the bill asunder, thusly. We can keep going this way, taking it apart atom by atom, and atoms are separating at some point here. Now, unfortunately, I cannot take this apart at an atomic level, atom by atom, molecule by molecule. We have to use something different for that. So, in the meantime, Penn, would you please be so kind as to hold the pieces of your bill right there so everyone can see them? Thank you. I have brought with me, ladies and gentlemen, the Stats Laboratory, the disintegrating chamber, patent pending. Do you know how to use it? Can you release that?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. We take the pieces of Penn's bill and place them here on the suspension platform and place it inside the airtight containing unit. And I will take this back, sir. Thank you. Now, it does us no good just to take the bill apart. We have to put it back together again. And to do that, I have brought with me the Stats Laboratory reintegration chamber, open sourced. Now, Teller, it's going to be your job to monitor this unit and make sure nothing goes horribly wrong with this. Hold on a second. Teller, for you I have here we go. So give me 1 squeeze for yes and 2 for no, got it? Excellent, okay, we can communicate. Now, at this moment, gentlemen, you'll notice you have some safety goggles in front of the jars in front of you. We'll put them on at the same time together on the count of 3, so it looks all synchronized and cool. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, science is cool. What's going to happen now, Penn, I'm going to have you push the red button in just a moment, and when you do, you will hear a little alarm go off. That alarm will be your cue to take 1 step just back away from the machine for your safety. Okay. Understand? Excellent. Now, Teller, after that's done, I'm going to have you push the red button on your jar. You'll hear a little alarm go off. That'll be your cue to take 1 step back from the machine for your safety. You understand? Excellent. Okay. Penn, push the little red button. Penn, do you see your bill inside that jar?
I do not.
You do not, you do not. Hey, it worked. I mean, it worked. Of course it worked. I'm a genius.
Nice.
Excellent. Teller, push the little red button. Hold on, we have a misfire. Don't approach it yet. This could be dangerous. We have to take care of this. We probably have some cross-contaminating radiation between the Kyber and the lithium power sources. Thank you. Do you see the pieces of Penn's bill inside the jar? Excellent. Good. Okay. I don't want to get near it. Go ahead, open the jar up and take a look there. Yes. Would that be Penn's signature on the bill? Yes, it is, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that. Not only Penn's bill, but it has reconstituted together back into one single solitary piece of... That's a... This is not a failure, ladies and gentlemen. No, you see, the bill did teleport from that side of the stage to that side of the stage, and it does have a Penn signature still intact. And not only that, but Penn now has a wonderful souvenir of our time together on stage. And that's not failure, ladies and gentlemen. This is redefined objectives. Science! Hey, that's yours. Thank you very much. Let me take your seats. Thank you very much, sir. Let me take your seat. Thank you very much.
Dyno Staats! That was so cool. I love that you incorporate science and magic.
I've always loved science, yeah. It's ever since I was a little kid watching a lot of science fiction-y movies. You know, everything from Jurassic Park to The Fly to My Stepmother's an Alien. Well, there's those fun movies that are really cool.
Yeah. And you get to wear the cool goggles.
I do. I love them. They're awesome.
Those are amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah. And how long does it take you to do your mustache?
That's the question, isn't it?
Yeah.
In the morning, it only takes me like a minute to put wax in it and get it straight and looking
Really?
nice. Yeah, it took me a lot longer to grow it.
All right. Well, let's go see what the boys have to say.
Well, you know, Dyno, that wasn't just magic. That was also science. See, it's our show. We have the power, too.
Holy crap, it works for everyone.
That's a terrific act. We like the whole theme and everything else. The Dr. Frankenstein, the throwing the switch, all of that stuff you did was just fabulous. The lab coat is wonderful. I think we'd look really, really good in them. The props are beautiful, that whole steampunk theme. The idea of doing the mismade bill, which is a standard with a signature and a transposition from one side to the other, is a really nice use of that. Having it signed and mismade with the reference to the Fly movie makes the mismade bill mean something, which it usually doesn't. We liked all of it. We're not going to give any flap about the props or any of it. And, you know, you're right. We don't believe in magic, and we do believe in science. Boy, that's fun to do. So we think we have a pretty good idea how you did it. What do you think?
Well, I think their hypothesis is fairly close to accurate.
Well, thank you so much. Dyno Staats, ladies and gentlemen. We have plenty more magicians to mess with your head, including our headliners, Penn and Teller, so stick around. predict that you're about to meet our next magician.
I had a past that I am not proud of. I was what was known as a grifter or con man, kind of lived in the shadows. Back in 2005 or so, I needed to disappear. I went on the run and ended up in Las Vegas, and I was living under a false identity. And I looked up and Penn Teller walked by. For some reason, I had to say hello. He was kind to me, and everything that he knew about me was a lie. Penn's kindness helped me realize I didn't like who I'd become. So I turned myself in. I spent 5 years of my life in prison, practicing bizarre magic and spirit magic. Every aspect, from mentalism to cards to coins. I've been performing magic since I walked out of prison. Now here I am as my true self, trying to con Penn and Teller with magic.
With 3 randomly selected members of our audience, here is the mysterious Aiden Sinclair.
Ladies and gentlemen, every illusion begins with a lie. And in the year 1848, there were 2 little girls in Hydesville, New York, that told a lie. And that lie became one of the greatest illusions of all time. In fact, an illusion that's performed to this very day, but not by magicians. It is an illusion that is performed by, well, charlatans and confidence artists. You see, these 2 little girls told a lie that they could talk to the dead. And in fact, at this very moment, somewhere in America, there is some fraud medium who's still trying to convince people that their ghosts could cross over. That being said, I'd like to try a little seance magic for Penn and Teller tonight. Allison, would you care to join us at the seance table? It's going to be a lot of fun. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the seance table. Now, I know there are some creepy things in front of you. There is a spirit board on the table. A lot of people are sensitive around Ouija boards. That's way older and creepier, so don't let that bother you. Allison, the doll, I know can be a little weird. Some people actually believe if you look them in the eyes, they'll steal your soul. This is Evie. Evie is one of the artifacts from the historic Stanley Hotel. She actually belonged to a young lady whose name was Lillian McGuire. She passed away, sadly, by her own hand in the year 1926. Evie, some people believe she does contain a spirit. And tonight I'd like to see if that spirit will come out and play, so to speak. And to do this, I'd like to play a game of hide and seek. Now, obviously not with her, but with a thing. In my pocket, I have a little bag, and in that bag are 4 things. Very simple things, actually, when you think about it. Nothing haunted or creepy. In fact, I want you to be assured that all of this stuff on the table, as creepy as it is, it's not going to follow you home and haunt you or possess you with demons or give you nightmares unless it does. So, in my hand, I have a few things. I have 3 black beads and a pearl, something that a young girl would be drawn towards. And that's what we're going to play hide and seek with. The idea is we're going to place all of those things into the bag, give the bag a little mix, and I'm going to ask each of you to reach into the bag and take out a thing. Obviously, you're either going to take a black bead or one of you will take the pearl. I'd like you to make this selection in complete secrecy. Do not peek. If you don't know what you have, there's no way I could read your body language and get a tell. It'll truly be up to the spirit to try to find the pearl. Are you willing to reach into the bag? You're a very brave woman. Please reach inside the bag. Take your time. Make sure you have something. Hide it in your fist. One thing only. Have you got something?
Yes.
Excellent. We'll give this a little mix. Sir, if you would take the next thing, I'll look away. Please reach into the bag. Take one thing only. You have a thing, sir?
I do.
No peeking. Young lady on the end, are you comfortable taking a thing? One thing only? And Allison, the last thing is all yours. You can take the whole bag if it's easier to reach in there that way. Once you have something, hide it in your hand.
Okay.
Perfect, and just throw the bag away. We won't need that again. Because it's not about me, it's about her. What I'd like to do is see if there is a spirit present within Evie. So I'd like you to focus all of your attention on her, and you may get a sense that she wants to communicate with you. You might start to feel your skin prickle. You might feel a little tap on your shoulder. If anything like that happens, do let us know. Do keep your hands in plain view so she can clearly see them. And Evie, if you are present with us this evening, I'd like you to just give us a sign. It can be any sign at all. Let us know that your presence is here, and perhaps you could actually tell us on what side of the table that pearl is. If you could just... So you guys are off the hook. Would you open your hand? Do you have a black bead? Ladies and gentlemen, that is 1. Do you have a black bead? That is 2. You can place it on the table, sir. No nightmares for you. You guys, sorry. It's the eye contact thing, I think. But very simple. One of you, we now know, obviously has the pearl. One of you obviously has a black bead. I'd like to use the spirit board to give her a way to truly communicate with you. What I'd like you both to do is focus on that spirit board there. What I'm hoping is this. I'm going to ask each of you to say a phrase. That phrase will be, Evie, I have the pearl. One of you will tell the truth, and one of you will lie. I'm hoping that she might give a sign to whoever tells the truth. Are you comfortable saying the phrase? Mm-hmm. If you would, Evie, I have the pearl.
Evie, I have the pearl.
Did you feel anything? A little tingle, a little tap, anything at all? Okay. Allison?
Evie, I have the pearl. Well, I do.
I'm going to stand over here. So I'm going to go with you.
Okay.
Young lady, would you open your hand? Do you have a black bead? Allison, do you have a pearl?
I must.
Ladies and gentlemen, the spirits have spoken. Thank you very much. You can leave it there on the table. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for coming up. You guys can return to your seats. Allison, thank you so much. Thank you.
Aiden Sinclair and Evie. So you work at a haunted hotel?
Well, we prefer to think of it as a historic hotel.
Right.
You know, people get married there every day. They have anniversaries, family reunions. It's a happy place, unless you get the heck scared out of you. But no, it's a wonderful hotel.
What attracted you to magic?
Honestly, when I got in trouble, I knew a little bit. And when I went away, I studied. And I knew that because of my crimes were really kind of deception-based. And I think everybody has a gift. And unfortunately, mine was a gift of deception. That being said, there are positive ways to use it. And what's cool about it now is that I spend most of my time not performing, working with at-risk kids. Kids that are at that edge where they're just about to get in trouble. And if you can get one of those kids to stay in school, graduate, and do something, it's an amazing thing.
Absolutely.
So I'm very thankful.
Well, and you're such an inspiration, showing them how you turned it around.
You know, nobody wants to go to jail. Nobody wants to go to prison. And honestly, it's not fun. It sucks. But I went on my terms.
Yeah.
And I'm able to have the life I have today because of that decision. And my life is exponentially better.
Such an inspiration.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, thank you for sharing your story. Let's go to the guys and see what they'll share with us. Penn Teller.
Wow. Well, I'm still reeling from the from seeing you again.
You
had an accent back at that time.
I did. You remembered.
I do. A very heavy accent, which I believe completely, by the way.
And I'm sorry that I fooled you then. It was not my desire to do any harm. And
oh no, I know.
Your hospitality has changed my life, so I can't thank you enough.
And I'm so glad you've come around. And you've also picked an area where we care very much about honesty.
Likewise.
And talking about the dead, and you did a very wonderful job putting that in historic context. I think that it's really important to say, you know, everybody thinks when they see one of these things in a magic show, they wouldn't be fooled. But in the real environment, when people are doing this, they're being fooled day in and day out, and scammed out of lots of money, and more than that, scammed out of the respect and the love and the dignity of people that
very much
passed on. I'm so glad you're doing it right. And also, you've done that by putting a frame around it, and we like the whole outfit.
Thank you.
We like the tie, we like the shirt, we like the jacket, we really like the rings. We like the pants, the shoes. Everything gives that whole impression. Makes the whole trick work.
It does. It really does.
And even though we might have a slight idea, I don't think the audience had the remotest idea of how anything was working on any of this. I think you fooled almost everyone in the room. Unfortunately, we don't think you fooled the two people right here. So good to see you again.
Likewise, Penn. Thank you very much. It's truly an honor.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So good to see you again.
Thank you. Thank you so much for everything. You helped. This is because of you. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
All right. Thank you, Aiden Sinclair. Enjoying our show? Well, we aren't finished with you yet. More outstanding illusions on the way. Let's see if our next act has what it takes.
I have a background in contemporary circus. I combine theatrical pieces with mime, magic, and object manipulation. Sometimes you see a picture of something, like surreal paintings like René Magritte and Salvador Dali, and you think, how could I make that into a magic trick? You should be able to take a snapshot anywhere in the act, and it's an interesting picture. I like the classical silent acts, and I want to create the same feeling. I think that magic should be so clear that you don't have to say anything.
Our next magician will leave you speechless. Here is Axel Adler. That was just so lovely, and it was like watching a dance. Beautiful.
Thank you.
All right, while they talk, let's discuss. Are all of your tricks silent, or do you...
I do some talking tricks also, but mostly silent, because you can travel anywhere in the world and perform.
And you're from Sweden?
Yes, I'm from Stockholm, Sweden. So.
Nice. If they can't figure it out, will you tell us how it's done in Swedish?
I can tell you now in Swedish how it's done.
Sure.
Ni tar en Skogaholmslimpa, skiva den i små skivor och lägga på.
That's basically what it sounds like when Penn talks.
Yeah. So that's how it's done.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's just hear the same thing in English, maybe, from Penn, because that's what it's going to sound like in my brain.
Boy, we are so glad we studied Swedish. That was really worth it. Made this part of the show a lot easier. What a beautiful act. What a really beautiful act. And you know, one thing the audience may not know that's so nice about this is a lot of the acts we have on here are fairly angly. You know, you can watch them from, well, sometimes 2 seats. And that's all they look good from. This works good all around. You don't have anything that's angly. It's just beautiful. It's just you out there. You're mime, you're moving. all the strength involved in that's hidden is really wonderful and terrific, and just a whole different flavor of act. I mean, I don't know if it's a Swedish flavor of act, but we have acts from all over the world. This is a whole different style from a lot of other things we do. We not only liked it, we really liked it. We think we have a pretty good idea how you did most of the stuff, but man, did we love it. We just dug it all the way.
Thank you.
Did you understand anything in there?
Yeah, I really understand it.
All right, well, thank you so much, Axel Adler. Our magic bus is full of the world's best illusionists, and the next stop is right here. Stay close. To fool Penn and Teller, and this next act is truly one of a kind. Take a look.
When I was growing up, I was a very solitary kid, and I could spend hours and hours in my room reading. Human beings are story-consuming machines. I tend to look at each piece of magic as a story. I write the end first. That's just an easy way for me to structure my work. The ideal scenario is, at the end of this piece of magic, Penn and Teller look at each other, and they go, you got it. You fooled us. That's my ideal scenario.
From Chicago, Illinois, please welcome the devious David Parr.
Hi, I am David Parr. Allison, I will need your help. Will you join me?
Sure.
I have a seat for you here.
Oh, why, thank you.
My lady. Allison, we are going to play a little game.
Okay.
And the name of this game is Follow the Leader.
Okay.
So, watch carefully, wait for the bell, and then act accordingly.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Here we go.
All right. Should have worked on my shuffling skills while I was on break. So do you think we fooled them?
I don't know.
Come on, can I share the trophy if we did? Because, like, that was kind of me.
That was all you. Now, this has a cool backstory.
Yeah, what is that?
About a year ago, I was hit by a car outside of the airport in Chicago, and the impact snapped my leg in 2 places.
This is not a cool story so far.
Well, it has a happy ending.
Okay.
So, I was out of commission for 3 months. I couldn't walk, I couldn't drive. So, to maintain my sanity while I was stuck in the house for months on end, I decided to focus all my energy on developing one new piece of magic that I could then perform in the show when I recovered. And you've just experienced the result of that 3 months of effort.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. So, I don't really want to break my leg to come up with something that cool. But what a great way to turn a bad situation into something positive.
Exactly. And it's totally ruined the showbiz phrase, break a leg.
Yeah.
I cannot say it to anyone anymore.
No, you just say good luck at that point. Yeah. Ready to find out what they think? Gentlemen?
I think we can figure this out. I think we're almost there. All we'd like you to do is break both our legs. Leave us in the hospital for a year, and we believe we can get it.
Happily.
We don't think there's a deck switch. We don't think there's marked cards. We don't think there's double backers. We don't think there's double facers. We don't think jack. We have no idea. I mean, no idea.
Oh, my God! What? You're amazing!
Not even a guess.
Yay!
Not the slightest guess, on the slightest guess.
That's a fantastic! David Parr, everybody! Okay. We still have one last trick up our sleeves, and it's a doozy. Our very own Penn and Teller are up next. Stick around. For the past 40 years, not only have Penn and Teller been dazzling audiences, but they've also been pissing off other magicians. Here they are, carrying on both traditions, Penn and Teller.
You know, the most exclusive private magic club in the world is called the Magic Circle. It's in London. Our friend David Copperfield is a member. The judge on this show, our mentor, Johnny Thompson, is a member. Amazing Randy is a member. And we were thrilled because recently they got in touch with us. They have a museum right there on their property there in London. They were doing an exhibit on the bullet catch, a very famous American trick. We have a version of it. We were thrilled because they wanted some memorabilia for their museums. We sent them the actual helmets we wore the first time we performed that trick, sent them a picture to go with it, even wrote an article for their magazine. And then we said to them, well, you know, we sent that all off. Do we get to be members? And they said no. And the reason was their bad translation of this Latin motto, indocilis pravada loqui, which they have mistranslated into not likely to give away secrets. And the Magic Circle said in so many words that they don't care about magic as an art form. They don't care about magic as entertainment. They only care about magic as keeping secrets. A little coven of old men in London keeping their stupid little secrets. And as you know, we've been known to give away a magic secret or two. So we wondered if we could actually do a magic trick successfully while giving away a lot of the stuff we've given away on TV about that very trick. Now, the first major thing we gave away in 1985, one of the David Letterman television program, and we said that all blindfolds used by magicians were fake. We stated that categorically, and we stand by that. We have someone to help us here. What is your name, our newest friend?
Leah.
Hello, Leah.
Hello.
My name is Penn. This is Tell. Now, Leah, you're going to be a blindfold that cannot be faked. Your job, Leah, is to make sure that Teller can't see. Now, no reason to bite out his eyeballs. We're gonna do this temporarily. Take the heels of your hands, put them right over Teller's eyes. Just like that. And no need to be gentle, it's not me. Okay, Leah? Just like that, Leah. Now, you make sure he can't see. The other thing we're accused of giving away, which is ludicrous because everybody already knew this, but we have mentioned marked cards. Now, marked cards are very, very hard to check for. Even professional gamblers sometimes can't do it, but Leah's going to. The card's gonna be dealt, Leah, face down into Teller's right hand. Now, if they were marked, which they are not, if they were marked, Teller have to see the back of those cards for the marked cards to work. Your job, make sure he can't see it all, then all if he doesn't turn his head, okay, Leah? That's your whole job. Now, we're gonna do the card trick for somebody in the audience here. How about you, sir, with the glasses, front row? Come on, yeah, right up here. And what is your name, my newest friend?
Tim.
Hello, Tim. Now, Tim, if you want to do a card trick, one of the easy ways to do it is to know what card is going to be picked in advance. That's called a card force. We gave that away on the Johnny Carson television program. And one of the easiest card forces, and also one that's used by professional magicians, one right now on the strip, is to have 52 cards that are all exactly the same. They just have a card selected and know what card it's going to be. But Tim's going to show you that those cards are not all the same, are they, Tim? I'm going to try to show you all of them. You can see them. They're not the same. Another way to force a card is with sleight of hand, Tim. You can just take sleight of hand. We gave this away in a TV special and force the bottom card or the top card, even a middle card if you hold the break under it. But I'm going to make sure there's no sleight of hand because they're going to be right in Tim's hand. I'm going to give you a bunch of the cards here, Tim. Just take those right there. And just, I'm not even going to look at you, but fan them out like this. Just fan them out like this. And just look at one of the cards in your hand. Look at one of them. Just look at, think of it. Just think of it. Don't cut to it. Don't point to it. Just think of one of the cards you're seeing in your hand. You got one of those, Tim? Yep. Okay, just think of it. You didn't indicate any way, right?
Nope.
Close up the fan. Close up the fan. And I'll give the cards a good shuffle, Tim. Give them a good shuffle. Or give them that kind of shuffle. That's fine, too. But mix them up so you have no idea. And you only thought of the card, right?
Yep.
And yet you're mixing them up. So you don't even know where that card is in the deck, do you? And we'll mix it up with the cards that I shuffled. And now there's no idea where your card is in that deck.
Nope.
And you're the only one in the world that knows what your card is.
Hopefully.
Now, one of the techniques used in magic is to confuse the sequence of events. Now, I really do not want to do that now, okay? Now, I did not force the card on you. Is that right, Tim?
Yeah,
you're
that's
sure?
right.
There's no secret whispering or any sort of psychological thing right there. So I don't know what the card is. Now, I'm going to now take these cards and hand them to you. The order of the cards will not change.
All right.
I'm not going to touch them again, okay?
All right.
So remember that. I don't know what the card is. No one in the world does. You've got the cards in your hands now. Now that they're safely in your hands, say the name of the card you just thought of.
Seven of Hearts.
Seven of Hearts. Okay, now you're going to go over there, Tim, and you're going to stand on this side of Teller so he can still be seen by the camera. You're going to deal the cards one at a time from the top into Teller's right hand, face down. Okay. You will go until he stops you. I will not say a word. Deal them one at a time from the top, face down Teller's right hand. Leah, you make sure Teller can't see. That's your only job. Okay, Tim, go. Deal the cards from the top and at Teller's right hand, face down. He stopped you, Leah. For even a moment, you get a glimpse of those cards.
No.
Tim, face the audience. Are you sure that card was not forced on you?
Yes.
You had no idea where it was in the deck?
No.
Loudly, the name of the card you just thought of, Tim.
Seven of Hearts.
Look at the next card. Show it to the audience right in front of your chest. Hold it still. Out of a shuffle deck, a simply thought of card. You keep that card with you. Thank you so much, Tim. Thank you so much, Leah. Thanks, Tim. Thank you, Leah. And you know, Magic Circle, we have a seal too. It's dedicated to you. It looks like this. Magic Circle, we don't want any members of your stupid club anyway.